everyone, welcome back. I'm bringing you Vegan November this month, a series similar to Vegan June that I did, but you'll be getting a new video every other day. If you're new to veganism or if you're looking to go vegan, I'm hoping that these videos can help you with some meal ideas and that you enjoy them. You told me how much you loved Vegan June and would love to see a series for the winter months for some winter recipes. So without further ado, for breakfast on Monday I had some strawberry overnight oats. I made this up the night before by adding half a cup of frozen strawberries to a bowl. You could use fresh strawberries, half a cup of oats, half a cup of plant-based milk. I love Alpro's vanilla rice milk, and 1 tablespoon of maple syrup. I give it a good stir and then I just place it in the fridge covered overnight. I love overnight oats because it literally takes seconds to throw together, and come the morning your breakfast is there ready for you. As I said, I'm loving the Alpro vanilla rice milk. This is the first time I've tried it and it basically tastes like custard. And it's so good with the strawberries. It makes the whole bowl so creamy and delicious. I do find that using frozen fruits makes the overnight oats a little bit more liquidy, so you could use a little less milk if you wanted, but this is how I prefer mine anyway, so I'm okay with that. And you can get really creative and make this with any fruit and plant-based milk combinations you like. For a mid-morning snack, I had a packet of these raw chocolate goji berries from the Raw Chocolate Company. These are so good. They're basically goji berries covered in like a raw cacao powder almost. They are quite rich, but that's how I like my chocolate, and I feel like I get such an energy boost from these, which cacao is great for anyway. If you didn't catch my superfood powder video for more info on it, then I'll link to that down below. But these are great just when I need a mid-morning work snack or for on the go. For lunch I made a creamy mushroom soup. I started by chopping up 1 white onion and then I added that to a pan on a medium heat with a little hot water, and I allowed them to just cook down until they were soft. I then minced in 3 cloves of garlic and fried that off too, and then I chopped up 400 grams of mushrooms. These can just be roughly chopped as everything is going to get blended up anyway. I added the mushrooms to the pan and allowed those to cook through, and then I poured in half a can of coconut milk, 1 cup of vegetable stock, seasoned it with salt and black pepper, and then I grated in some nutmeg and I took some fresh thyme and added that in too. I let everything simmer for a good 15 minutes before transferring it over to my food processor. I reserved a few of the mushrooms here for garnishing, and then I blended that up until it was smooth. I usually add it back to the pan just to give it another blast of heat, and then I serve that up into a bowl with some quinoa crisp breads on the side, and I just top the soup with the reserved cooked mushrooms and a sprig of fresh thyme. The soup is so tasty. The nutmeg makes all the difference in this. It also works really well as a pasta sauce too, and this recipe serves 2, so I just place the remaining soup in a container in the freezer. I'm really into my homemade soups at the moment, so I'm probably going to be bringing you a lot more soup recipes. They're just so warming and comforting through the winter months. For an afternoon snack I had some kale crackers with avocado and sun-dried tomato. I took a handful of these kale crackers from R.W. Garcia. These are so delicious. They're made from kale, flax seeds and sesame seeds, and I just mashed up around 1/4 of an avocado and then scooped that out onto the crackers, then added on 1 chopped sun-dried tomato and then squeezed over some lemon juice and seasoned them with salt and black pepper. This is such a great snack. These crackers are so versatile. You can eat them and use them in so many ways. I also love to break them up onto soups, have them with tomato salsa and other dips or spreads, or just on their own as something to snack on. For dinner I made a vegan spaghetti carbonara. I started by making the sauce, so I chopped up 1 white onion and I added that to a small pan with a little hot water and cooked them off. I cooked them in hot water like I did for the soup because I'm using coconut milk and I find it works better than olive oil. I then minced in 3 cloves of garlic and chopped up around 200 grams of mushrooms and added those to the pan too and cooked them off. I next added in the other half of the coconut milk that I used for the soup at lunch and let that simmer whilst I then cooked up some whole wheat spaghetti. Whilst those were cooking I made some coconut bacon and I added 1 cup of coconut chips to a dry frying pan and just toasted them off. I then added in 1 tablespoon of tamari, 1 tablespoon of maple syrup and 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. This is just how I like to do it, but I know that coconut bacon usually works better with liquid smoke, so you could add that that too if you have it. I make sure that it's well coated, and then again I continue to toast them but don't let them burn. Once the spaghetti was cooked, I drained it and then I added in the sauce. I then also added in 1 cup of peas. Fresh peas work best, but I just used tinned. I mixed that well and then served it up with the coconut bacon on top. I find if you stir it through, the paprika from the coconut bacon kind of makes the sauce red and it doesn't really look like a carbonara anymore. I then took some fresh basil and thyme and added that on too, but parsley also works really well. And then I added on some nutritional yeast at the table, because what is pasta without some kind of vegan cheese? I know I've been asked before if coconut milk makes these kind of meals too sweet, but I really don't find that it does. It's so creamy and the flavours from the onion, garlic, mushrooms and herbs come through stronger anyway, and altogether it really does taste like what I can remember a carbonara tastes like. Also, the mushrooms and peas are optional, and I don't think a carbonara traditionally always uses mushrooms, but I like to bulk mine out with as many extras as I can. And when you've got a rabbit around, you obviously have to share the basil love. You've all been asking to see him in a video recently, so here he is, and basil is one of his all-time favourite treats. For dessert, I just made a hot chocolate. I just heat up 1 cup of vanilla rice milk in a saucepan. Any plant-based milk will work, but I find this the sweetest and really creamy. I make sure it doesn't catch on the bottom of the pan, and then I just poured that out into a cup and added in 3 teaspoons of choc shot. I know I talk about this all the time, but I love the stuff, and this honestly makes the best hot chocolate. It's sweet, but it's not sickly, and sometimes I do find that plant-based milks can curdle when they're heated. It makes no difference to the taste though, so I'm not all too bothered. And that is it. I really hope you enjoyed this first video for Vegan November. As always, all of the recipes and ingredients will be listed in the description box below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you again for the next one on Thursday. Bye!